All right, today we're taking a trip to France, but we're not just going anywhere. We're heading to one of the most famous, most challenging, and most historic places in all of motorsports, the Circuit de la Sarthe, the home of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So let's just start with this number, 5,410 kilometers. What is that? Well, that's the all-time record for the longest distance ever covered by one car in a single 24-hour race. It was set back in 2010. To give you some perspective, that's like driving from London all the way to Cairo in one day. And that, right there, is the heart and soul of what makes Le Mans so different. See, at Le Mans, winning isn't about setting the fastest lap time. Nope. The winner is the car that covers the most ground in exactly 24 hours. That simple little rule changes everything. It turns the race into this brutal, round-the-clock test of endurance, where how reliable your car is just as critical as how fast it can go. And the stage for this ultimate test of man and machine? It's a track that is truly unlike any other on the planet, the Circuit de la Sarthe. The first thing you've got to understand is the sheer scale of this place. This is not your normal, purpose-built racetrack. What's so wild is that for most of the year, huge parts of this circuit are just regular public roads, with everyday traffic. They only shut them down once a year for the greatest endurance race on Earth. Let's just quickly break down the numbers so you can really get a feel for this beast. We're talking 13.6 kilometers, that's about 8.5 miles, for a single lap. You've got 33 turns to deal with, and the whole thing runs clockwise. It is, by far, the longest and fastest circuit in the entire World Endurance Championship. So how about we actually take a tour? I think to really get this place, we need to go for a guided lap. We'll stop off at some of the most famous and, infamous parts of this incredible circuit. Our first stop? Well, it has to be here, doesn't it? This is without a doubt one of the most legendary pieces of asphalt in the history of racing. Just look at it on the map. It's this massive, long scar running down the back half of the circuit. This straight is Le Mans. It's the one feature that defines the whole track. And this quote just perfectly captures that split personality. This 6-kilometer monster of a straight is normally just a public road connecting a few villages. But for one weekend a year, it transforms into an automotive runway, where cars are pushed to their absolute breaking point. And when I say limits, I really mean it. Back in 1988, a car was officially clocked at 407 kilometers per hour on this very straight. That's 253 miles per hour. I mean, that's so ridiculously fast, so mind-bendingly dangerous, that it actually forced them to fundamentally change the track itself. So yeah, that insane top speed was basically its own undoing. In 1990, to meet new international safety regulations, they installed 2 chicanes. They broke up that iconic, long straight into 3 shorter sections. It made things a whole lot safer, for sure, but it also meant that the 407 km/h record would probably never be broken. But, strategically, this created brand new heavy braking zones and some amazing new spots for overtaking, completely changing the rhythm of the lap. Okay, so we've gone from the extreme straight-line speed of the Mulsanne, and now our lap takes us to a section that tests a completely different set of skills. You can see them right here on the map, this fast, flowing, and incredibly demanding series of high-speed corners right near the end of the lap. Right, so if the Mulsanne is all about raw engine power, the Porsche Curves are all about aerodynamic grip and pure, unfiltered driver bravery. It's just this relentless, high G-force ballet on the very edge of control, where one tiny mistake and you're in for a world of hurt. This is the part of the track that really separates the good drivers from the truly great ones. Of course, it's not just the track layout that has a history of change. The race itself has been constantly evolving for more than 100 years now. That very first race back in 1923 looked totally different from today. For decades, the race started with the famous Le Mans start. Can you picture this? The drivers would literally sprint across the track, jump into their cars, fire them up, and tear off. It was pure chaos and honestly incredibly dangerous. So by 1971, it was gone, replaced by the much safer rolling start we see today. The whole history of Le Mans is this story of constant change, almost always driven by that hunt for better safety, from adding the chicanes we just talked about to making closed cockpits mandatory for the fastest cars. And all this constant change really gets us to the core purpose of this event, because Le Mans has always been about more than just crowning a winner. From the very beginning, this race was meant to be a laboratory on wheels. It was created to force car manufacturers to build cars that weren't just fast, but also super reliable, fuel efficient, and technologically advanced. So many things we just take for granted in our road cars now, like better aerodynamics and amazing brakes, they were all perfected in the fiery crucible of this 24-hour race. This quote just nails that original spirit, doesn't it? While Grand Prix racing was all about making the fastest possible machine for a short sprint, Le Mans was different. It was designed to push technology that could actually help the person driving to work every day. It's always been the ultimate proving ground. So that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. This race has driven a century of incredible innovation, from disc brakes all the way to hybrid power. So, what's next? Are we going to see hydrogen-powered cars going for the win? Advanced sustainable fuels? Whatever the future holds for technology, you can bet on one thing. This legendary circuit will still be there, ready to provide the ultimate test for both human and machine.